What we're trying to do with this program with Crossings is, again, sort of blur the lines between Asian music, Western so-called art music, you know, blues, improvisations, folk music, all this stuff. And actually the 20th century, like the early 20th century, was so much about this breaking down of the barriers. I mean, music was changing drastically, and so we find ourselves a lot of times starting from that point. A lot of music of that time works so well, and the poetry of that time works so well, because they're taking the world view, and they're not listening anymore to just, they're not saying, you know, Beethoven is the only music, it's got to be German music. And I love German music, and I love Beethoven, but it's not just about that. The French, all of a sudden, the French are very, very interested in exotic cultures, very interested in Asian cultures, Hispanic cultures, everything. So this stuff starts coming up in jazz. So Ravel, I knew in my head right away, well, the Western, for sure, Ravel's going to be there, and it'll be the Ravel String Quartet. And you'll hear.
And you saw that in art of that period, too.
Absolutely, it's all the same. That's why I love that period so much. So it's very fertile, and of course they were all working together across these disciplines. That's the other thing. They were all friends, like, oh, you've got to hear this poem. And, well, I think this music and this poet then would influence the Ravel in picking his librettos for his. We need to have a spiritual, some kind of center and a sanctuary, a safe place for people to express their differences, their beliefs, their connections. And safe is really the right word. We are in dangerous times. That's all there is to it. And so I'm thrilled to be doing this program here in a space that is so welcoming, and a space where we're going to be presenting Finnish folk songs. One of the pieces is 5 Finnish folk songs by a Japanese composer, Mamiya, who was interested in the sound of the language, the Finnish language, and how it was similar to the Japanese language. And the sounds, actually, his musical palette is quite French as well. And I feel you'll hear it. I mean, I like people not to even know who the composer was. You just listen and you'll hear where the threads are going. So they all relate.